Hi, Eric. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Maggie.
So, what are we talking about today?
Today, Edward Snowden, one of your
And-
favorite subjects.
So, what does that have to do with lifestyle?
Uh, well, actually, you were the one that suggested this topic, so you tell me.
All right. The reason I thought we could talk about this is that I'm going to take this away so we're not looking at ourselves. Is that it has affected how I behave online.
In what way?
I used to be much freer about clicking through and going to, random sites and like sometimes. Okay, I'm going to confess something here.
Okay. Everybody, she's ready to confess. I knew I could do it.
Oh no. So a few months ago, I don't know how I got to this series of sites, but I clicked through. It was late, maybe 1, 2 in the morning, and I started off somewhere on YouTube, and then next thing I know, I'm on some sites where they're very unattractive people, very unattractive Russian people.
Okay.
It was a Russian porn site.
Okay.
So, but it was fascinating because the people
By the way, the government has some questions of me. They contacted me before this, and I'm glad you've already admitted this now. But,
okay, but, and it was, I'm sorry, it was mesmerizing. It was very,
so you kept with it.
and somehow I just got involved in this whole underbelly of ugly people, Russian porn. For that evening, I didn't go back, but yeah. So now I'm very wary of clicking through, from one thing to another. And I'm sad about that because, that Russian porn thing notwithstanding, I've learned a lot.
About Russian porn?
I've learned a lot over the years about different things just because of the freedom of clicking through from one thing to the other. And I'm very wary. I'm also wary when I'm, not that I'm really censoring myself so much now, but I'm very cautious about chatting on Skype, on my phone. I mean, there have been things that have happened online where I feel that I have been censored, for example.
Do you think nobody was looking before?
Of course they were.
Yes,
They
that's
were.
what Google and everybody else does.
Yeah,
so.
and we kind of knew, like even years ago when I was living in Sweden, I remember there was something in the news about there was some program that if you spoke certain words, that then they could start, monitoring your conversations. If you said bomb or, there were certain words that suddenly would activate this program, but I didn't realize the extent of what was actually happening at the time.
I've always been leery of it because I knew people were out there looking at it, and I figured the government was involved somewhere, although I don't think we knew the extent. But getting back to what you said a second ago, wouldn't you want the government to be able to, first of all, there's not somebody sitting there monitoring and listening to this. They don't have the manpower or woman power for that at all. What they do is they collect it all, and then if they feel like they can
why
do
should
it.
they collect it?
Because wouldn't you want somebody who is planning on blowing up the World Trade Center or something
They
else
have
that
not,
they would be able to know that?
In all of the years that they have been doing this, and apparently this started in the 60s, they have not succeeded in catching anybody. Look at what happened with the World Trade Center and all of these other things. If they were doing all this monitoring and spending all of these billions of dollars, don't you think that they should have caught, the Oklahoma bombers and?
They're collecting it. They haven't been monitoring it so much. They collect it all.
You know why they're collecting it? Because they can, and it's a power thing.
Yes, but now, and I agree, maybe there's some excesses, but now their analysis of it is a whole lot better than it used to be. Before, they couldn't really analyze it. That's one of the reasons that, yes, if they would have been able to analyze it better, they probably could have caught the guys that were planning the World Trade Center. Well, now they can analyze it better, And there's a much greater chance, not never 100%, of course, that they can catch these people, and it makes us all safer.
Well, I don't think it makes us all safer. I think it's pure power mad activity, and that it's going to be used against people that are running for political office. It's so dangerous that it could lead to some kind of a fascist regime. We're very naive. We don't think that our government could be overthrown or anything like that. Things can happen. There are people there's secret government budgets, secret courts, all kinds of things going on.
Shutting down bridges in New Jersey.
Yes, but that's,
That's another thing.
Well, that's power mad
Exactly,
behavior,
that was
right?
abuse of power.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you don't think that this can lead to abuse of power, or perhaps it already has, and we're not aware of it.
Well, number one, yes, I think it can lead to abuse of power. I'm not saying it hasn't, but that's true of everything that we have in the government.
In any case, getting it back to lifestyle.
Yes.
It has affected how I behave online. I was very active. There was a march against Monsanto last year, May 25th, and I actually went to downtown Miami and I marched, and there were a lot of people. I mean, the streets were full, and it went on for blocks, and I saw very little news coverage and radio coverage of the event. Some people said they saw a couple of things here and there, but this was a massive demonstration in downtown Miami that, normally I would think there should have been a lot of cameras down there and TV people interviewing, and there wasn't.
Why do you think there wasn't?
I think that Monsanto is a very powerful company. But my point is this. On Facebook, I had been heavily posting about the march against Monsanto and urging people to join me. And on 4 separate occasions, and the first time it happened, it was just purely by accident that I noticed this. My settings on Facebook were changed so that whenever I posted anything about Monsanto, my setting was changed so that only I could view the post. Now, that had never happened to me before. My settings are set that my friends can see my posts. And when there were specifically the posts about Monsanto, a whole day went by and I thought, this is very strange. I'm posting about Monsanto and not one person is liking the post or commenting. What's going on? And then nobody could see it. It said only me.
Now, who do you think changed that?
I don't know. But at first I thought, okay, you know what? Something happened. It's a glitch. And then it happened again. It happened a total of 4 times. And at the same time, there are many March Against Monsanto pages. There's a huge one, and then there are countrywide ones, and then different cities have March Against Monsanto pages. And I follow several of them. And they were complaining that they were losing access to their pages. So their pages would be suddenly shut down for 3 days at a time. And they were not able to post or whatever, and they felt, well, rightfully so, this is some kind of censorship going on.
By Monsanto, probably. Not necessarily the government.
I'm not saying it's yes, but okay. But Monsanto, to me, it looks like they're becoming more and more a part of the government, because a lot of former executives and high-powered people that worked for Monsanto before are now in positions of power in the government where they are overseeing Monsanto. And to me, that's a conflict of interest, and I think that they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. There is a lot of conflict of interest of people in corporate world going into government.
Yeah.
But here's, I think, our disagreement. I mean, it seems to me you're saying that don't collect the information at all. And I'm saying collect the information, have it there, but before you can, if you want to see somebody's individual records, you need to go have a judge or somebody say, okay, yes, there's enough.
Which judge?
Here.
In the secret court?
It's just like anything else. Well, yeah, it's got to be a judge. It can't.
Don't we have fundamental rights?
Sure, you have fundamental rights.
We have privacy here.
I mean,
we have privacy laws here.
The police can come. Police right now can come and monitor you, and they can bug you and everything else. But they have to have a search. They have to have a warrant from a judge.
But they don't have any warrant. They're collecting all information from everyone, including Congress people, because recently it came out and they didn't deny it, right? And now there's somebody, a conservative politician, who, yes, Merkel as well. But I'm saying there's somebody that's trying to sue the NSA, who's a conservative Congress politician, and NSA is saying, or the government is saying, oh no, that shouldn't happen, because then secrets will be revealed or whatever, or it'll affect security, national security, which is ridiculous. I mean, we have
So what?
where our civil rights are being eroded.
Well, there's no evidence of that yet. But
Is there any evidence that this works? No.
If we had another major attack on the United States, are you telling me you would not have wanted the government to be able to collect this information? And then when they saw some people doing it, then they could go in and look and analyze it and stop them?
We have to look at it in a different way. We have to look at it in terms of what kind of a society do we want to live in? What kind of lifestyle do we want?
Where terrorists don't attack us.
I want one where the government is actually working for us, and we don't have to be fearful of the government because.
Well, I agree.
Who is to say that this information is not going to be used? And a lot of people say.
A judge.
But what? A judge in a secret court? I don't trust that. Anything that's secret, I don't trust. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If it's something that everybody should be happy about, then it should be open.
How are you going to have something open when you got terrorists out there that are going to look at all this information? They're going to see exactly.
I think there's this, they
have
made Al Qaeda into a monster, and yet we are a superpower.
So the only superpower left. You don't think Al Qaeda is a monster?
I think that they are very bad people that want to, they have their own agenda, but I don't think that they're as powerful as we're making them out to be. I think that the government and people that are benefiting financially have created this that made them seem much more powerful than they really are in order to spend billions and billions of dollars. There's a lot of waste going on here, and the economy.
I don't disagree with that.
But
they are a threat.
They are a threat, but are they as big a threat as that requires us to be eavesdropping, and collecting data from everybody around the world, including our allies, including the politicians that are in Congress representing us?
Well, we're in agreement there.
It doesn't make any sense.
Haven't bought in. They haven't had any say in this at all.
No.
And so
and neither have we.
But the funny thing is, on that, which I'm not disagreeing, but Putin and Merkel and all these others, they're outraged. But they don't talk about their own. They're doing that and more. Probably, and that's one reason. And like in Putin, and
we know that
he's a total dictator, and so he doesn't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah.
So that we're better off than that.
And so of
the only thing
we haven't mentioned Snowden, even though we're talking about lifestyle. But I mean, do you think that he's a traitor?
Absolutely.
I don't. I think he's a hero.
There's always two sides to everything. My side and the wrong side. So, and you have every right to be wrong. No, just kidding. You didn't like that joke. I think what he, there could have been other ways that he.
He gave up his life for us.
He could have done a little of this and yes, I think it was good that he brought this out, but to the way he did it and the amount of information, people have died, people have and it's seriously compromised what
people have died because of Snowden? I don't think so. I think people have died, for many reasons. I thank God that he came forward, and
I'm glad he came forward.
Did you read the article about his background and how he was at the NSA?
He didn't have to disclose as much information, and they've got a whole lot more.
They've only disclosed 1% of what he has. Yes. Okay, and he weighed his options. He's a very, very smart guy. He was within that organization. He probably saw. Apparently, he kept a copy of the Constitution on his desk. Sure. And when he was asked to do something that he felt, when he was asked to do something that he felt that was against the Constitution, he would actually open it up and share it with people. So that's the kind of person he is, somebody who has a lot of moral fiber. And, I'm very happy that he exposed this because I think it brought something to light that is extremely shocking, that we have secret courts, there's a secret government, there's secret budgets.
No question. And when they talked to the head of the department, when they said, are you collecting this information? He said, no, that was a lie.
A lie.
And Snowden. So, yeah, I'm not disagreeing that it was good he brought it out. What I'm saying is he had all these volumes of information that's going to hurt the United States and it's going to get people killed. And
I don't know that it's going to get people killed. I don't know. He hasn't exposed it.
He didn't have to do all of that.
He did not expose it all.
And know that Putin
very little.
And the Chinese, everybody are just happy as ever because it's hurting the United
So
States.
what if they're happy?
big time.
It doesn't matter to me. You know,
They want to do us ill, and Al Qaeda
I don't
loves
think
it.
so. People,
These are our
everybody
enemies.
wants to make money. People want to make money. They want to better
Yes.
their societies, and the way to do that is for people, countries to work together, somehow to compromise and figure out ways of working together instead of this kind of, you know, treating everybody as enemies. That is not going to work. That's something that this is how the U.S. behaved, you know, back in the 40s and, you know, earlier on, 50s, 40s and 50s, the Cold War era. We're creating that atmosphere again when we really should be creating something for the future, which is that we, you know, compromise, working together peacefully. There's no reason for this. We have created this antagonistic environment, which only will lead to more antagonism. Look at what happens in the Middle East. You know, these are things that have been going on for, you know, centuries, thousands of years. Why? It's never going to, it can never be that one is going to beat the other. The only way this is going to be resolved is that people somehow lay down their arms and work together.
Yes,
okay?
and that would be great if both sides did that.
Eventually, it'll have to happen.
When we tried that, then you get whacked, you know, like in 9/11 or something of that nature.
Well, let's
And
not get into that.
But my point is, we need to have this information. If we don't do it, everybody else is going to do it. We will be hurt. It'll be like
I don't agree
going
with
out
you
in the
at all.
world with one hand tied behind our back. Everybody else has got two hands. They've got all their armament, and we don't have half of
You know
ours.
what, Eric?
If we don't do it, then others are going to do it. I'm not disagreeing. We need to agree with those, and I agree that Snowden. I think he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a terrible guy. I think he's a traitor
Eric,
for what he did.
You know what, Eric? I think you're a
But-
really nice guy, but I'm going to be putting bugs in your apartment, and I'm going to listen in on all your phone calls. I'm going to get all the passwords to your bank accounts, and everything. But don't worry, I'm not going to do anything with it.
If they
You know, I
have,
just want
if
to make
they've
sure
gone
you're
to,
not going to do
if
anything
they've gone to a
bad.
judge and there's reasonable, if there's a reasonable belief that I'm doing something against the government, then they should do that against somebody, but not before, and we probably agree on that. I think that's probably
Okay.
long enough.
Bye.